everyone. This is Denona Conley with Crockett & Sons Enterprises and CNS Cares, and we are here today at 92.1 with Let's Talk Business with Crockett and AV. As you can see, they are not here. As you can hear, they are not here. But you know what they love to say, when you hear the C, you know it's Crockett and AV. And so today we have with us Mr. William Johnson Jr. with W Johnson Consulting and 3-in-1 Man Foundation. And we are going to be talking about some great things going on, some great things that he has with youth and also basically all generations, all ages, and it's just new and innovative. And so let's get started. Tell us about yourself, Mr. William Johnson Jr.
Well, as she said, my name is William Johnson Jr., born and raised in Houston, Texas. I normally been saying like Homestead, Texas. And so went to Forsberg High School, went to the Navy, spent 8 years in the Navy, 16 years in oil and gas. And now I'm 9 months into being a business owner of these beautiful robots that goes underwater and do inspections.
Okay, so we're going to find out more about that. So I know that you were working with Miss Janice Weaver of One Body Networking, and she just had an amazing blood drive this past Saturday. And so tell us a little bit about your experience at the blood drive.
I loved it. It was at my old middle school. So when she told me about the blood drive to come donate blood, I was like, I can donate blood, but can I bring my robot? She was like, yeah. So I brought the robot, and we set up and we talked, met all the I guess politicians and people's leaders of this beautiful Houston.
Yes, it was an amazing blood drive where she gave out scholarship awards to young people that some innovative state representatives, city politicians, they promoted these young people, and she gave scholarship awards for them. Yeah. And so it was really amazing to see that a lot of young women are out there doing some things, and they are headed to college. You had TSU represented, you had Prairie View represented. So, you know, a lot of good things were going on. And so that's one of the things that was there. And also, the blood drive did do excellent. They had 25 people that could actually donate and that gave blood. And as Ms. Weaver says, when you donate once, you help 3 lives. Okay? So we got to remember that. So when you hear of a blood drive,
be there.
Support. Help out. Know this is for your community.
Right.
And so one of the things we like to do at CNS Cares, which is a nonprofit, and we like to go out and provide free health screenings of blood pressure, blood glucose, body mass index, and oxygen levels. So we want our community to know their numbers. Now, I know you have a youth foundation.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about the youth foundation.
It's called a 3-in-1 Man Foundation. It's basically based off the book of Proverbs. And what I'm trying to do is create Proverbs 31 men and women. Okay. You normally hear it from the woman side of the things, but it's a whole 30 other books in Proverbs that's talking about how to be a good person. Okay. And so what I would like to do is try to create Proverbs 31 men and women.
Okay, so do you have any youth that you have helped already?
Yes, I have. I have about, now I think about it, at least about 13 or so right now that I've been mentoring. I also used to teach Sunday school as well too before I just took off with the business. Okay. And I love the youth, and I love what it is that I'm doing. I just did a big thing last Wednesday with the Imani School. Okay. Just left there today, and man, what an amazing group of kids. Miss Williams over there is amazing.
Excellent.
So
that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
So when you're assisting the youth and mentoring the youth, are you mentoring them on anything specific, like your project, your underwater project?
Yes. I'm mentoring them on robotics. Okay. Robotics. So what we're talking about is basically this. It's in the studio, the robot here, and it's an underwater drone. But we're using an Xbox controller to manipulate it. Okay. And so what I've been teaching the kids, we ripping it apart, taking it all, just breaking it down to parade rest is what we say in the military. Okay. And and let them put it back together. And then they get to function and operate it using the Xbox controller.
Okay, so they break the controller down or the robot?
The robot down.
Okay, so I was like, okay.
The robot,
now, I don't know how they feel about the Xbox controller being broken down.
No,
Okay.
but you know, at the end of the day, we're using this robot, this Xbox controller, to manipulate the robot. If the controller was to break, you might need to fix it if you don't have one. Most of these things are being operated in remote locations where you don't have access to all the different parts that you need.
Oh, wow.
So I'm glad you mentioned that. I might put that in there. How are we going to fix this, bro?
That's it.
Fix this remote.
That's it. See, we came up with new ideas. We're always doing something new and innovative here at Crockett and Sons Enterprises.
That's right.
So now, with the robot, tell us a little more about how your robotic underwater services work. You say you do inspections. How exactly does that work, or how did you get into that field?
Okay. So when I got out the Navy in 2008, I was working for a company, FMC, and they was putting these trees, what we call manifolds, trees in the water. And I was a hydraulic tech. So I built all the hydraulics that operate the planes. So they was like, hey, we need somebody in hydraulics. And so at the same time, I was just inquisitive about, like, this is massive. Who's putting this in the water? Who's doing this work that we're doing on land? Subsea, that's always a robot goes out there and do that. So just by happenstance, one of my buddies called me like, hey man, this company is hiring. They need people with your skills. And so I applied in 2009, and I've been doing it ever since.
Excellent. So you have a thing for water.
I love water. With the Navy, I want to be buried in the water.
Okay,
like,
now see, that's different.
That's different.
That's
yeah.
different. Hey, you
When
got
it's
a
not
robot
really,
that can do it, though.
Yeah, and speaking of being buried, one of my angel investors that's helping me with the program is Houston Memorial Garden Cemetery.
Okay.
Mrs. Janice Howard and Mr. Larry Crawford. They are big supporters. So if you need to find a place to be laid to rest.
Okay, I don't know if I want to go there yet. I'm not there yet, but good news, good information to know.
Yeah.
Excellent. Mr. Crockett, where did you meet him?
At the Community of Faith. About 7 months ago.
Okay.
Very impressed with his unique style of dressing and his backstory, where he came from and who he used to be and how he found God, and through his mentorship with Bishop Dixon. So I'm trying to find that same mentorship with Mr. Dixon. And just following Crockett's footsteps. I like what he's doing and how he's doing it. So I want to definitely thank him for allowing me to come on the show. But also, I'm ready to partner up, Doc.
I will let him know for sure.
Let him know.
So some of the things, as I said, that Crockett and Sons Enterprises and CNS Cares does is we go around the community and we do different events where we bring with us free health screenings. So our community that may be at a disadvantage for going to the doctor on a regular basis might not know their numbers. And so we're there to provide them with their numbers. And if they don't have health insurance, we actually can assist them with that as well with CNS Insurance Group. Wow. And so these are some of the things that Mr. Crockett is doing, because his goal is to make sure that the community is taken care of, that the community, basically everyone in the city of Houston and surrounding areas has health insurance, because there's no reason we don't have it.
Wow.
So that's what his main goal is, and I just want to get that out there.
Okay.
So tell me more about your experience with blood drive, and did you meet any interesting people at the blood drive that you want to share?
Yes. Wow. Miss Weaver was very interesting. I used to be the armor bearer before I took off of my career, and she would always be there with the mayor, our forever mayor. Yes. And I got an opportunity to meet her there, and she just had a beautiful personality. I did meet her doing Harvey. She was giving out food, and she came, and she just had a beautiful personality. And just realized that I live like not even 5 miles from Northwood, and she did as well.
Wow.
So it was just sitting there talking to her. And that kind of like just gave me that woman fuzzy. Then we had Northwood. We had my middle school, and I got to meet. Yeah, no, Homestead. But anyway, I was able to meet the president of Houston Community College, and we was able to talk about the robots a little bit. And I met a lot of amazing people, Miss Mary Fontenot with Mr. Dutton's office, Miss Lee, Sheila Jackson Lee's daughter. And actually, she was helping me before she passed away to get into the ION. And through her help, I was able to kind of manage to get inside there with some words of inspiration from her as well, just to make sure that, you know, I do things the right way.
Yeah. Miss Sheila Jackson Lee will be missed, and Mr. Crockett worked with her as well, and so just her presence alone will definitely be missed, because she is someone that was for the entire community.
Correct.
Regardless of the 18th district, she was for the entire community.
She was for everybody.
So that's excellent. So let's see. What can you tell me about the robot that someone just walking up that's a newbie to robotics may know nothing? What can you tell them about it?
I can tell them this. That the Navy just spent $92.6 million on these robots.
Okay.
That means that if the military is buying them, they're going to need people to operate them. So why not go to Homestead or the Imani School, or North Forest High School, or Booker T, or TSU, or Purview, to start training people who look like me? For the last 25 years, I have been the only few of people who look like me doing this work. It's not that hard.
Okay, so they need to reach out to W Johnson Consulting.
They need to come see
That's
W
what you're
Johnson
telling
Consulting.
me. Okay, so that's good to know. So you heard him. There's opportunity here. There is availability to learn something new, and you can start now.
Correct.
You can start young, you can start older.
Right.
As long as you have a desire to learn the information and to do the work.
Correct. That's it. So, you got to have the want to, the need.
That's it.
And the things that kind of touched me, just to go back on Crockett and Sons and what you guys are doing with the healthcare situation. We have every student that comes into the program have to go through a health screening to go offshore. Same thing, if you want to join the military, you got to go to a health screening to join the military. I would like to make sure that I was using a different company, but now that I know that Mr. Crockett is doing all this, I want to make sure that, you know, CNS is screening all the students that's, you know, once we hire them on to get ready to go offshore, because some guys, they was devastated when it was time to go to the Navy or go offshore and find out they had high blood pressure or they can't get qualified to go offshore and things like that. So we want to screen them early for these different situations, and same thing with the healthcare and stuff like that. So if we get that knocked out, because that's the biggest thing out of your paycheck, is your healthcare, you know.
That is.
And so I would like to make sure that we use Crockett Services to basically screen the youth and the future employees of WJC.
Very nice. That's very nice. And in case y'all didn't know what WJC is, that's W Johnson Consulting.
That's right. That's right.
All right. So what else would you like to tell us about the robotics or about your nonprofit?
So the nonprofit, as we talked about the health screening, we also going to be doing financial literacy. And we're going to be teaching them how to, the money they're going to be making is anywhere between $300 a day to $1,000 a day with time in. But how you going to manage that money, right? I'm from Homestead. I just saw the guys riding with slabs and gold chains and Michael Jordan. So when I first got out the Navy, that's the first thing I was spending my money on. But guess what? Look how further I would be ahead if I had somebody teaching me how to do these things financially. Okay. And so that's one thing. We're going to do drug and alcohol awareness. I was born with drugs in my system when I was a kid. They call it a crack baby now. Oh, okay. But it was prenatal cocaine exposure. But I dealt with a lot of different challenges growing up, learning how to read, how to do math, stuff like that. So I'm also have a foundation and a scholarship for that as well, part of the foundation. Same thing with mental health. We're going to be talking with people who have mental health, because at the same time, I'm going to put you in an environment where you basically remote, and everybody ain't going to look like you.
No. Yeah, and some of the things that you're talking about is actually on the health insurance plans.
Oh, wow.
Well, they make them a part of the essential benefits, where there's an aspect of mental health awareness, the mental health counseling that you can get. There is an aspect of just being able to just do preventative care, because that's what you really want is preventive. You want to catch it before it happens.
Right.
And so that's the main goal of the essential benefits and the reason the insurance is available.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people don't know it's available to them. So it is available to ages 19 to 64. And you also have Medicare coming up.
Okay.
And Medicare open enrollment is coming up, as well as the Affordable Care Act open enrollment is coming up in November.
Okay.
So there's a lot of things coming up. So keep checking, keep looking out for us. And when you see the C, you know it's me.
That's right.
That's what Mr. Crockett loves to say. That's what we all love to say.
Yeah.
So we proudly wear the C.
Yeah, good.
So there are a lot of things that are available. So this is good conversation, good information.
Yeah. I know after air we'll take a little bit more farther, but I just want to make sure that I'm getting this information back to my community of people. I could have took it and just
sat on it,
but why not come back into the community and say, hey, y'all playing a video game all day, every day, anyway. Why don't you make $300 a day doing it? And then guess what? You're a little younger than me, so you never thought you could have cars driving by themselves or Teslas on the road, right? So just imagine in 30 years, everything is going to be robotics, AI. Here's the introduction to it.
Oh, that's good information. See, guys, did you hear that? You can learn something new, and you can make money doing it. Right. So it's not necessarily an internship that might not cost, might not benefit you, where you don't make any money with an internship. But this is something where you're learning a skill, and you can take that skill with you wherever you go. And it's something you're already using. Xbox controller.
Right.
It's something you're already using. So might as well use it to the best of your ability and make some money while you're sitting there.
Might as well.
I know. That's the phrase that always kills me. Might as well.
Might as well. Especially when it's spelled out on the back of a car, like might as well. But you might as well come over and get this free training. And at the end of the day, I say free, but we know nothing is free. But we're going to have your tax dollars pay for it. Those same tax dollars that bought $92.6 million for the Navy, let's use that same money to train people who look like me and you.
Okay.
That's what I want to do.
Okay, so I'm going to ask the question that every woman wants to know. Are we included in your process, sir?
Yes. That's why it's called a 3-in-1 Man Foundation. We've got to have the women. What are we going to do without,
Not much. So, moving on. But yeah, so that's good information to know. So, we talked about underwater robotics. What else can be done? Are there any other jobs that can happen with the knowledge that you're training people with?
Yes, there is. Okay. I didn't just get here to this robotic industry by just starting with robots. I started with, like I said, hydraulics and the need to want to know more. When I was a kid, when the remote control cars was out, you had the little tether attached to it, and then they went RF. Well, I couldn't get the RF that soon, so I cut mine thinking I can get it to move.
I'm going to tell you now, nobody knows what RF is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So you mean they were without the cord?
Without the cord. It was tetherless, right? And so at the end of the day, I was like, okay, I want to see how to make this thing work. So that kept just inspiring me to do more and more and more and learn more and learn more. And so what you can learn from this robot, and what I have learned, about 4 years ago, I decided to stop working in the oil and gas industry because I wanted to be at home every day. I got a job at Walmart, but I really worked for a company called Robotics. Okay. So Robotics brought these robots into the Walmart warehouses. And of course, the people was like, oh, these robots taking our jobs. I said, no, they're not. Now, Walmart might not pay you what you're worth after I teach you how to use this robot, but Amazon will.
Okay. So there's another opportunity.
There's another opportunity. So, and that's how I moved around through the industry. It's like, you work for 2 years? I said, yeah. You guys are paying me $100,000 to train me, right? How to work your product, which all starts with ones and zeros, plus and minuses. Okay. 232, 45. Even though I'm talking
so binary.
Oh, see, look at you. See, a little bit, right? So it all starts there. And once you get that, you know, you don't learn how to subtract before you learn how to add, right?
True.
So once you learn,
somebody keeps taking something from you.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we're trying to keep, somebody from taking something from you. So at this point in time, no one can take what I have from me.
The knowledge and skill that you have.
That's right.
Okay.
So I want to teach that knowledge and skill, so you can go once it's taught, you ain't gonna never lose it. They say you ever try to put toothpaste back in the tube?
Actually, I have.
Oh. But normally that's not something you always do, right? So once you have learned something, you can't unlearn it.
That's
right?
true.
So you can always ride a bike. You might not be as stable as you want to be, but once you have learned how to tie your shoes, right? Navigate it, right?
Okay. Well, that's interesting. See, new things I'm learning.
So what we're also trying to create is, everybody might not be a water baby like me, right? Want to be offshore in the water, be gone. So there's bridge and dam inspections that have to take place. Think about in Baltimore, which I'll be headed to this evening. There was a bridge that got hit. You know what picked up all those people and all those cars and things like that? This robot from a company called Video Array. I was there at the same time. So these are things that you can learn how to do. When I took this to the money school, the 4-year-old kids was picking up all the objects using the video game, you know, better than the adults was.
Well, that's because they're like, ooh, I can do this.
Right. So this is just a gateway into AI. You know, we have did machine training with the robot to make it go find objects without a human interaction. Don't be afraid of AI. That's what I want to teach. Don't be afraid of new technology. Somebody has to manipulate that. Your phone don't work by itself, right?
That's true.
It's like my phone's recording me. Like I see people with these Band-Aids over their cameras on they. Come on now. At the end of the day, just to turn the thing off, right? Find out how it works. Go in the system. Turn off the camera. Turn off this thing that's tracking you. Turn off this thing that's recording you. Learn your product, right?
Okay. So do you have to have a math or science background or be proficient in math and science, or you just have to be able to retain the information?
The last part.
Okay, so able to retain.
The will to want to first.
Okay.
The rest of it is out the window, right? Does Xbox or PlayStation ask you these questions before you buy their product?
Not at all.
Exactly. So at the same time, I'm not the person who's going to do the qualification. That's God's job, right?
Okay.
He already gave you the knowledge, the skills to be able to understand and learn things, and he just say, hey, we'll teach you a little bit more.
So you have to have a desire to want to know, understand, and retain.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
That's awesome. So it was a joy speaking with you.
Okay.
Would you like to leave us some information about the 3-in-1 Man Foundation, any events you have coming up, or your next training sessions?
Yeah, sure. One shout out to Black Book Houston, who has connected me with a lot of different people. And my next event we're doing at Topgolf with the ESPN Special Olympics. Okay. We'll be doing another follow-up with Kashmir Library. We'll be doing some information with the city of Houston. We're trying to go for the first class to be January 6th of 2025. Okay. But we're going to be doing some informational fillers, like some one-day lunch and learns, just get everybody. So people
can understand.
They can understand it, right? Go from there. And then we're also trying to get this money so it can be free. So if it's grant money out there, sponsorship money, whatever it is, anybody wants to donate, Mr. Crockett, if you want to drop a couple dollars in the bucket for some of these students, come on with it.
So that sounds amazing. So let us know so we can let the people know what you have coming up, and we will make sure that it's on our site so they can know, hey, this is an event you want to go to. Okay. This is something you want to know. So for everyone listening, this is Denona. We have been talking with William Johnson, Jr. of W Johnson Consulting and 3-in-1 Man Foundation, and we've just learned a lot, that you need to have a desire to learn. That's the main key, is a desire to learn. And you may walk away with something that's so invaluable that can set you and your family up for life.
Correct. Can I make one last comment to Miss Weaver with the blood drive? She mentioned something while we was there on that blood saved her life.
Yes.
2013, my dad needed blood. He refused to take it due to his religion. They gave him 6 months to live. He died exactly the 6 months that they said. And the whole time, he refused to take blood. So, anytime there's a blood drive and somebody who wants to live and need blood, I'm going to give it. And I think the people should do.
That is an amazing and honorable thing. And I'm sorry to hear about your loss. And you are doing great things for the community.
Thank you.
Be proud.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, guys. This has been Denona Conley with Crockett & Sons Enterprises, CNS Insurance Group, and CNS Cares. And when you hear the C,
You know
it's Crockett and AV. And when you see the C, you know it's me. Okay? Guys, we've enjoyed you. And join us again.